Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. What is going on, crew? Brian DeCosta, shreddedforlife.com. Here to get you shredded, keep you shredded, the good shredded. Hi, how are you? I'm going to turn that. I'm sorry, I have this little background music playing. I thought it was going to work, but it's going to distract me. I know it. Please like, subscribe if you enjoy the video. Don't do it yet. Let me earn it. We're going to get into the video right now. We're talking about styles of training, specifically reps in reserve, rate of perceived exertion, also training to failure. So these are, and for beginners or those who are just getting into fitness, these terms might seem big and scary, but it's actually the most simple thing ever. It's a way to measure your effort and intensity during a given workout, during a given set. And if you haven't been following along with the channel lately, what I've been doing is answering a question commented on the prior YouTube video. All the videos follow pretty much the same format. It's my dumb face talking in a corner somewhere as we go through a workout B-roll. Sometimes if I say something snarky or give a actual constructive tip that will help another human being, I will have some audio of the workout playing. But besides that, it's pretty much just me ranting, talking about a topic that someone commented on. So if you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. I upload 2 to 4 times a week as the schedule allows. And I'm going to go kind of off the rails here. I don't really prepare for these videos, honestly. Maybe I should start doing that, do a little bit of research, but maybe that time will come. I never formally, I don't know if I want to apologize. I'm just going to explain. I don't think an apology is owed per se, but for those subscribers who've been around here for a minute, you may know, and like super OG, I started this channel back in 2016, 2017, and I would say I was rather consistent with videos through probably 2019. There were some blips here and there, but specifically with contest preps and stuff like that, I was uploading 2-3 times a week and put a lot of effort into videos. And besides some videos during contest prep where I did receive the help of a videographer, I've always done pretty much all the filming and editing of the videos. And that kind of gets to the point of what I'm saying here is I basically ghosted on the channel, I want to say for like 2 years, year and a half perhaps. And my only uploads were really DJ streams. I used to, I've always been super into music. I was in a band in high school. I played guitar. I was a DJ in college at clubs and bars to make money. And it's always just been like a hobby of mine. So I would stream on Twitch and I would post the stream replays on my YouTube channel. And just maybe observing that as a subscriber to me, you might be like, oh, Brian was into fitness and then I haven't seen a video from him in a very long time, and now he's a DJ. Is he trying to be a world famous DJ? No, it's literally just fun. It's like stress relief. It's like meditation. It's happiness for me. And I wanted to upload them because I get to lay over the actual high quality WAV file audio, even though YouTube kind of compresses it to shit. But the streams on Twitch would mute a lot if the copyright was picked up basically on every stream. So I wanted a nice little product for people to be able to listen to if you're working or whatnot. If you're someone who enjoys those DJ streams, they will be returning at some point, yet to be determined. But yeah, spiel here that took longer than I wanted to, but back into fitness videos on the channel. I lied. I stopped doing vlogging. That's really what I wanted to say. I stopped doing vlogging because honestly, it just takes too much time and mental bandwidth, focused intention during the day. And it's not worth it at this current time I find myself in as a coach. I would rather my bandwidth and energy be focused on the actual business, the inside of the business, working on the business with clients, building dope programs, things like that. I don't want to be like knee deep in a project that I'm focusing on, then be like, oh, I'm going to run to the grocery store and vlog down the aisles talking about food. Perhaps that time will come. That's fun. But it's just the changing of hats. There's an energy drain with every new hat you wear. This is something you'll learn in business if you ever get into business for yourself, but I just can't deal with wearing too many hats. So that's why like this video format is good for me. I just get to like sit here and use words, and I'm shocked that literally these get even 1 view. To be straight up. All right, let's go ahead and get into the question. So specifically, Curtis commented that. Curtis spelled with a K. Have I ever seen this? I don't know if I've ever seen this. Curtis. It's with a C, right? I don't know. Anyways, hey, Brian, can you explain your general approach to intensity, i.e. reps in reserve, RPE, training to failure, etc., when prioritizing strength versus hypertrophy? Great question. So let's go over these terms quickly. Reps in reserve and rate of perceived exertion. These are more or less the same concept. There may be some nuances, some minor differences between these two terms, but they're basically referencing the same idea. And this is, you stop doing reps when you feel you only have a certain amount left. So RPE, rate of perceived exertion, I'll throw the kind of a chart on the screen so you can have a visual. This is measured on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being performing a set until failure. That's the most difficult, the most intense. Every ounce of energy you have, you will rate that set in RPE 10. RPE 9 is you stop doing reps when you feel you can only do one more rep. RPE 8, stop doing reps when you feel you can only do two more reps. RPE 7, you guys are kind of getting the gist. Stop when you feel you can only do three more reps. This requires guessing. You never know for sure, but as you start to use this scale, and I'll talk about when it's applicable, you'll get better at it. Anything RPE 6 or lower is basically just an easy set, more or less, low intensity. And this is a measure that is great for strength building specifically. If you're going to follow a strength building program, many popular strength building programs will lean on this idea, this concept, this principle, to make sure that you're staying in the right level of intensity and you're able to adequately recover in an appropriate way for the amount of training frequency and volume overall that you have for the week. So for example, it's common if you're going to do, let's say, push-pull legs. That's a very common workout split. On push day, let's say it's chest day, we're usually doing our big compound lift first, right? In whatever given workout we're doing. Usually a bench press if it's a push day, chest day. Legs will be a squat or perhaps a deadlift or perhaps a hip thrust. And then on a back day, it could be a deadlift. It could be a row, barbell row, dumbbell row. These are the sets that are the most taxing, require the most of us. That's why we usually do them in the beginning, and we need to monitor the amount of effort that we're bringing to that set. It's got to be appropriate. It's got to be enough intensity, enough effort, but not too much. I will also say RPE 10, so taking something to failure. This is like gun to your head. You can't do one more rep. So someone may, just gauge with yourself. Not every set you may think that you took to failure is true failure. If you're being really honest with yourself, you could have gone deep down into your soul and grabbed out one or two more reps. That's not RPE 10. So RPE 10 is like your balls to the wall. And I say that because a lot of people will say they train to failure every single set. And I think that if it's true failure, RPE 10, I think that's pretty irresponsible. And it's a very short-term view. I don't believe you can do that over any prolonged period of time. The ideal sweet spot that you want to be in, if you're using a measurement like this when training, is RPE 7, RPE 8. So stopping when you feel you can do 2 or 3 more reps is the sweet spot. As you get into higher levels of intensity, if you're following a periodized training program, if you're in an intensity block, the overall training volume is probably lowered. However, the intensity per set has increased. Probably less sets though. As I said, decreased volume. You'll be hitting RPE 9s maybe towards the end of a training cycle. You'll hit some RPE 10s, perhaps go for some 1 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes, 5 rep maxes, etc. My general approach to intensity is I will follow a training program always, but I will simultaneously listen to my body and honor that and not try to do anything that would be irresponsible. Like if I'm not feeling good, if I'm feeling a little sick, if I feel like I didn't get good enough sleep, if I'm just approaching my working sets of a difficult compound lift and I'm just not feeling it, my mind isn't there, perhaps it's not even something I can put a finger on, but I don't have the level of confidence that I would feel comfortable with entering those working sets. I will not push it to an extreme level of intensity even if my training program calls for that. This is self-regulation, and this is something you'll get better at over time. I think when I was first starting into resistance training, as a lot of young dudes are, if you are young when you get into resistance training, but I would probably do some irresponsible things. I've always kind of been someone who's hard on myself, and I expect a lot of myself. I want a lot for myself. I hold myself to a high standard. This is a blessing and a curse, and for that reason, I would like ignore how I would feel and just try to crush shit regardless, pardon my French. And luckily that hasn't yielded any bad injuries, but it's definitely not been something that I thought was a good decision. I might have like tweaked something, like tweaked a hip flexor, or felt a little twinge in my lower back, or like pinched a nerve in my neck, and then it's kind of hard to turn your head for a couple days, you know what I mean? Like that type of shit always happens when I'm just like overriding what my intuition is telling me. And if I'm honest with myself, I kind of knew that something like that had a likelihood of happening before I even started the sets. So I hope I'm painting a picture of what my answer is. Like I said, I don't really like write out anything cohesive before you start answering. So I hope I'm making sense. But my belief, if I could create a succinct little soundbite for you, it's always wise to follow a training program, period, that is based in research, based in science, and it is proven to systematically strengthen you over time. That being said, that program isn't Bible. It should never be Bible in the sense that like, no matter what, like not hitting the perfect RPE for every set in this workout is like breaking one of the 10 commandments. Like literally, no. Let's take a deep breath here. Okay. So that's said though, Curtis, like I think that people don't train hard enough. And I think people can have widely different estimations of what they're capable of, and therefore what their rating would be using reps in reserve or RPE. Someone may say something, or if you're not aware of how hard you can push your body, you may think something was RPE 9 when it was really an RPE 7. You can think something's an RPE 8 when it was really an RPE 6. So I think it takes pushing yourself to a brink to know how far you can go. Like there's a quote that's something to this effect, like the way we know where our limit is to reach it, discover it by failing. Like, I want to hit 530 on squats. Let's see if I can do it. That would be a PR for me. Currently I'm at 520 now, I think. If I don't get it, it's like, okay, well, I know my PR is less than that. So like that type of idea. Okay. So I would encourage anyone watching this, like use the RPE scale, use the reps in reserve scale. Good for the mind, good for the joints. Not good for staying conscious. I'm seeing a lot of black shit right now. But other than that, it's good.
Want to go run a mile right now?
I would die.
I would beat you. I would, right now.
Literally right now?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. No way. Let's create a bet. Ed versus Brian in a mile race.
Mile race after a leg day.
All right, that's fine. I'd still whoop you either way.
You know how bad? You know how much like your inside, like right here.
Oh, it would be horrible. But I would rather die than lose. Don't underestimate that. Again, this is only really beneficial if you're following a training program. It has to be periodized as in each, however your cycles are built out in the training program. Usually a training program is broken out into different mesocycles, 2, 3, 4 mesocycles. They can be anywhere from 2, 3 weeks long up to 6 weeks long, maybe even 8 weeks long. In that mesocycle, what most often happens is the training volume, the sheer amount of work you're doing at the beginning of the mesocycle is higher, but the intensity is lower per set. So the RPE is RPE 7s, RB6s. You're stopping when you feel you could do more, but you're just doing more work overall. Let's say like 24 sets. But as you move through the mesocycle, week 1, week 2, week 3, this curve is going down. Okay, the total training volume is going down, but the intensity is going up. So you're bringing your best to your sets. Why? Because you have less training volume, means you're recovering better, but the intensity is raising. So while you can bring more to those sets, more is required of you during those sets that you are performing. Perhaps instead of 24 sets, you're doing 16 sets. And that's through one mesocycle. And then you'll more or less restart on another mesocycle 2, with a higher baseline to build on that work that we did from mesocycle 1. So you'll start with a higher training volume, slightly higher than you did in mesocycle 1, and that will continue through mesocycle 3, 4, however many are in your training program. Just hit up shreddedforlife.com and join a training program that some bonehead on TikTok didn't create. That would be probably helpful for you, just to be flat out. I hope this made sense, Curtis. I'm careful to say that everyone's training is different. Everyone has different training philosophies. And I think if we attach to belief and we believe it, that is what a belief is. I think we as humans look for evidence to validate that belief. And a lot of people, basically what I'm saying is there's many different ways to skin a cat, which is a creepy saying. And just because I choose to view training in one specific way doesn't mean that someone else can't get amazing results, even better results than me, believing something totally different. I've seen some wacky things out there throughout the years, like German volume training, GVT, is something that's very popular, but when you actually stop and think about it, it's actually kind of fucking insane. 10 sets of 10. Like, can you imagine doing 10 sets of 10 of deadlift? 10 sets, fucking 10, and like intense sets and squats and bench press. Like that is a way that people choose to train. And people may say that that's like too much work or that's junk volume, but I don't know, man. I think the mind is very powerful, and I also think the body is way more adaptable than we give it credit for. And I think we can just do more than we initially think that we can. Always. I think we all have more potential than we tap into. So, have I rambled enough? I definitely have rambled too much. I hope this made sense, my man. Useful tool, RIR, RPE. I don't think it's wise to go to failure every set. I didn't really harp on that, but briefly, you won't be able to recover. And then slowly over time, you'll move from overreaching, which comes before overtraining. Overtraining is pretty hard to reach. No pun intended. It's hard to get to overtraining. A lot of people hit overreaching. If you're a motivated person, you've been training a lot, which is essentially like you need to back off the training volume, perhaps take an extra rest day. And if you don't heed that call, your body should be giving you that signal, just like tired, perhaps lethargic throughout the day, can't really focus on anything that requires a lot of thinking, prefrontal cortex work. You're going to start to fade. You're going to start to not do as well in the gym. You won't be as strong. You won't want to finish your last couple exercises. It will manifest in many different ways. Poor mood, not looking forward to the gym. And then you can get to overtraining where you're really putting yourself in a vulnerable position to get injured, and it's just ineffective. You won't be effectively growing muscle at that point. You're kind of just beating your body to shit, and it's just like, like, please calm down. Let me recover. Eat some food, rest, drink a lot of liquids, rest a little more. That's why you follow a training program, so you can avoid things like overtraining. Overreaching actually is baked into training programs. Just a quick side note. It's not always a bad thing. Hitting overreaching is good. It's necessary. So we give our body a reason to adapt. If our body isn't under stress, isn't under quote unquote pain, it's not going to change, right? That quote, people don't change until the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing. That's only when people change. It's kind of the idea with weight training to a certain degree. You got to signal to your body that, oh my God, this is super hard, and we really want to be better at doing this tomorrow. Okay, let's grow. Let's use the fuel that we're taking in from food to really like distribute those resources effectively. We can use these amino acids to help the muscle grow. We can use these carbohydrates to replenish glycogen and keep our body functioning the right way. Like, it will take the resources you're giving it to be like, all right, let's get better at squats, because squats kicked me in the dick yesterday. And then next week, who knows, you may be a little bit stronger. Hope that made sense. Brian DeCosta, shreddedforlife.com, here to get you shredded, the good shredded. Not shredded all year, because that will make your pee-pee not get hard, and we don't like things like that. And yeah, that's an interesting thing to say right now at the end of the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and comment a question if you have one. I may answer it in the next video, or maybe I'll just ignore you forever. Just kidding. I love you. Like the video, please. Bye.